Hi, my dear friends. I often get asked about the pencils I use and what sketchbook I draw in for my botanical illustrations. So, in today's video, I'm excited to share all the details with you. Stay tuned for a closer look. One of the most common questions I get is whether the pages in my sketchbook get messy or if my drawings ever bleed through the other side. And yes, sometimes they do, and there is not much we can do about that. But don't worry, there are a few tricks to help avoid this. One of the best ways is to always use harder pencils and try to steer clear of the soft ones. This really helps reduce the chances of any smudging or transferring, and I'll show you the exact pencils I use a bit later. Alright, let me show you all the art supplies I use for my botanical illustrations, and I think you'll find it interesting, so let's dive in. I'd like to start, of course, with the sketchbook. This is the most important part. I draw in a Fabriano sketchbook with 80 pages, 110 GSM. The size is 15 by 21 centimeters. This sketchbook feels really nice to touch with a sturdy cover and it's easy to carry around with me. Let's take a look at the pages inside. This isn't a net, but I really love the quality of the paper. The pages are thick, the pencils glide smoothly, and the paper has a nice soft texture. That's why this is my favorite sketchbook. Now let's move to the second essential component, the pencils. You can see a lot of them in my hands right now, but in reality I use a very minimal selection of pencils. I usually work with pencils of two hardness levels, HB and 2H. These two are more than enough for me to create the tonal range I need. My pencils are from the brand Koh-I-Noor. I really like the quality and how smoothly the strokes go down on the paper. Now let's talk about erasers. I usually use an eraser from Koh-I-Noor, just like my pencils. Here is an important detail. It's really important for me to have the eraser tips as sharp as possible for working on fine details. That's why I always cut the eraser in half and work with this smaller piece. Let me show you. As you can see, I always use this sharp edge and it makes things much easier. So, these little guys are always with me, ready to help me get started with my drawings. I also often use a kneaded eraser from Faber-Castell. A kneaded eraser is a special type of eraser designed for correcting and lightening charcoal and pastel drawings. It's a soft, moldable rubber with a clay-like consistency and high absorbent properties. When used, it picks up the particles from the graphite or pastel without damaging the paper or smudging the drawing. This eraser feels sticky and absorbs the pencil marks really well. Now, let me show you how I use it. First of all, I love using it to lighten areas that are too dark, which helps me make the drawing look more airy and three-dimensional. For sharpening my pencils, I really love using this simple office knife. It's really convenient because it allows me to sharpen the pencils to a very fine point, something that's not always possible with a regular sharpener. For studying the tiny details of flowers and leaves, like veins, stamens, and so on, I love using a magnifying glass. I have this simple round one, but it's more than enough for my needs. So, this tool really helps me a lot when working with small details. Also, in my work, my long pencils often end up looking like these little stubs. It's really uncomfortable to work with such small pencils. That's why I use these special extenders for pencils. I really like them because they allow me to use the pencil down to very last bit while still making it comfortable to draw with. So, I've shown you all my art supplies, and I really hope this video has answered all the questions you had about my materials. It turned out to be a short video, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye bye!